Okay, so step one is to take a cast iron skillet and rub some Crisco on it, just like that. And we're gonna take that and put it in the freezer. Okay. And we're gonna preheat the oven to 475. And start. So while it's preheating, take a biscuit bowl and a sifter, and we're gonna fill the sifter up with flour. And it is very important that you use White Lily self-rising flour. Okay? And you're gonna sift it so it makes a little mountain, a little volcano in the middle of the biscuit bowl. You'll get some, baby. Okay. And then you're gonna make a dip in the middle of the flour. Like that. Now, you're gonna take Crisco and you're gonna get 3 fingers worth. And that's about 1/3 of a cup. Honestly, it doesn't matter. You can put a little bit more in there. It's fine. Just get close to it. Just 3 fingers worth. Whatever you can scoop out with 3 fingers. Then you're gonna take a cup of buttermilk and you're gonna put a 1/2 teaspoon of salt in it. Trust me, that was a 1/2 teaspoon. And mix it up. And pour it right in there with the Crisco. So. And now what you're gonna do is take your hand, and what you're doing is you're smushing that Crisco into little pieces, and you're breaking it up, and you're just doing this. And as you do that, flour is gonna add itself to the mixture, and it's gonna start to thicken up. But what you're doing with your fingers is you're breaking that Crisco up into little chunks. And all those little chunks, when you cook the biscuit, they're gonna make a space for air, and they're gonna make the biscuit fluffy. So you wanna make this. And every once in a while you can grab a little flour and pull it in. But the main motion is this. Go like that for a little bit. And it'll just thicken up as you go, and every once in a while you just grab a little flour and you smush. And grab a little flour and smush. Down. When you get to about right here, you want to go ahead and kind of clean your hands off. Squeeze all that extra dough down in there. And then at some point it'll get thick enough that you're going to start folding it. So you'll fold it and smush it down. And fold it, smush it down. And every time you fold it, it's adding flour. And you're not kneading it, you're just folding it. You fold it over and smush it down. And it's going to get thicker each time. And now that you got it in a ball of dough, this is why they're called cat head biscuits, because you're going to grab it and you're going to squeeze a biscuit off, and right there it looks like a cat, and you're squeezing off the head of the cat. And you wait. Before we go any further. So we're going to grab our now cold cast iron out of the freezer. And we're going to take our sifter and we're going to put just a little bit of flour in it. And we're going to go like that. And just like you're putting powdered sugar on donuts, we're going to cover that Crisco with a thin little dusting of flour. We're going to make sure these things don't stick. So we take our biscuit and we roll it in our hand, and you can feel it change from a biscuit that has those little folds in it to where it all becomes one like cohesive little thing. And you put a little flour on it, put it right in the center, then 3 knuckles push it down. Then you do the same thing again. You're gonna roll it. And put a little flour on it. Now, when you put them in, you want the biscuits to touch, because when they rise up, they're gonna push each other up. If you spread them out, they're just gonna go out like flat. So you want the biscuits to touch each other. And when you get 3 of them down, you got this chunk of dough, and the way I get them to equal out is I divide this one in half and divide each of those in half. And that gives me 4 equal ones. So, go like that. Put some flour on it. Push it down. And again, you want those biscuits touching. Small. Flour that's still left here in the bowl, that goes into a Ziploc bag, and I put it in the fridge, and I can use it next time. So all I have to do is add just a little bit of flour to it when I sift it, so that just keeps going like that. Wooden bread bowl, never wash it, not one. Wipe it out, scrape it with a spoon. It's just dry flour that's going to touch it. You do not want to wet that bowl. Biscuits, you don't care what the top is going to look like, because when they get done, we're going to take some melted butter and put on top of them, and they're going to look pretty. The important part, when you check the biscuits, is to use a spatula or like a barbecue fork, and lift up the biscuit and look at the bottom of the biscuit and make sure the bottom of the biscuit is done but not burnt and golden brown. Okay. And we're going to put them in the oven at 475. Okay, so we want to check the bottom of the biscuit. Make sure the bottom of the biscuit is not burnt, but it's done. That looks pretty good. Pull them out. And we got melted butter. We're going to paint the top with melted butter. And the bottom of that biscuit is still cooking, so as soon as you get the butter on the top of the biscuits, like that, you want to get a spatula and go ahead and get them onto a plate so the bottom of the biscuit doesn't burn.